Eatonville, Florida is a quiet oasis 6 miles north of Orlando. More than 130 years old, this historic town stands as a civic and cultural touchstone for African Americans across the country.
It was not the first Negro community in America, but it was the first to be incorporated, the first attempt at organized self-government on the part of Negroes in America.
But for all there is to celebrate, the city's 2,200 residents have long struggled with poverty, unemployment, and a rate of diabetes 3 times the national average. Today, community leaders are banding together to build a culture of health upon Eatonville's strong foundation by embracing its history and building its future through creating jobs, improving educational outcomes, and empowering residents.
Eatonville is a quintessential American town. It has its own special uniqueness in terms of character and spirit.
There's this sense of family throughout that everybody is your extended mother, your extended father, your extended grandmother.
The community has reduced crime. It has brought in new businesses and new stores. It's changed so much that you can see it in the people's hearts, in their actions, in the way that they live.
Good afternoon. I'm Jasmine Reese, the neighborhood coordinator for the historic town of Eatonville.
Every day, there are people that come to Eatonville. I tell them, you have just walked in the city limits of history.
I enjoy educating people and exposing them to my home and to what took place in the past and what's happening now, all of the development, the changes in government. It's inspiring.
I am the executive director of the Association to Preserve the Eatonville Community Incorporated. We are what is identified as a cultural tourism heritage success story. Eatonville is known really around the world as a literary destination because of Zora Neale Hurston, the 20th century folklorist, anthropologist, and writer. Because she comes out of this community and celebrates this community. When people know who they are, they know of their history, how they fit into that history, it allows for a kind of security, a kind of emotional stability.
To me, it means pride in who you are and where you're going and where you want to be in life and what you want to do.
It's important that we keep telling the story, because if you stop telling the story, people can't dream anymore.
The culture of health is a 360 approach if you're going to truly have a healthy community. It's not just about medicine, it is about your spiritual environment, it is about economics.
It's important for businesses to partner with community because any town's progression and growth is really economic development.
Hostdime is a store of information that goes across the world. And they decided that Eatonville was going to be their home.
There's going to be a lot of non-technical jobs available, so we want to open up job opportunity to the town of Eatonville.
One of the neat things about it, every home in Eatonville will have free Wi-Fi. So I think it's going to be a win-win for our community and our economic base to have these new businesses that are starting to come in.
The Wayne Denge Center has provided transitional and supportive housing for homeless individuals and people with disabilities, with supportive services behind the scenes to support people's growth.
Didn't have a job and I ain't have no income, but Miss Carol trusted me and let me in here anyway. She gave me a place where nobody else would, you know. People don't do that every day.
We formed a partnership with Florida Hospital and Ability Housing, and the community and Orange County have invested in rehabbing our entire properties. We've established a new lifeline here in Eatonville, able to provide affordable housing at reasonable costs based on income to help people get their first home, their first housing in the community.
When I found out that I had diabetes, I reached out to the American Diabetes Association and I said, I think there's a problem with diabetes in my town. They sent UCF here. They did a study where they went door to door and they talked to a lot of people and found out that there was almost 25% diabetes within the community, and that was unbelievable. Together, we decided something needed to be done.
Healthy Eatonville Place is a health and wellness community here in Eatonville, Florida. We provide diabetic classes, and we are teaching them about how to prevent diabetes and how to manage their diabetes by checking their blood sugars, what foods they should eat. We've already pulled data that shows that 97% of the participants have reduced the prediabetes and they have not advanced to diabetic.
If you can't pronounce it, you don't need to eat it. They are learning how to read labels and understanding ingredients. No one has ever taught them to look at ingredients.
Serve side for 1 can calories.
Okay, what's
140.
While teaching people how to eat appropriately, we found Eatonville is a food desert. And in the food deserts, there are no grocery stores within our local area. So Ebony Nutrition has a fresh bus that brings fresh vegetables and fruits into the town that people can receive.
We're introducing a community to fresh produce, along with changing the lives of people at risk.
I got turnips, I got green pepper, and avocado and ginger.
People have made a choice to make a difference. We're all working as one on how we can improve the health in the town.
Everything about our town kind of reflects on making sure a kid is nurtured all the way up to adulthood. Valencia is one of the best things since apple pie when their program came in our community saying there's so much construction work need to be done in Central Florida. Even if a kid had a past challenge in their life, we'll go past it, look at their abilities to learn a trade, and we will make things happen. Calvin is a young man that just needed a chance.
Mr. Calvin Tillman.
That's all he needed was one chance.
The mayor encouraged me to come and do this program and set an example for the younger kids out in Eatonville, just to give them hope, give them something to look forward to, let the kids know that anything is possible. I'm ready to go in and be a manager, supervisor, superintendent, just gonna work my way up.
Leadership Eatonville found people who had some untapped skills, show them the way to organize those skills, and we show them that they can even do more.
What opportunities you have for growth in Eatonville?
The goal is to talk to the community about what they want and implement those things.
And we're excited about what they are doing.
Hungerford Elementary School is a small community school with about 300 students. At one time, they thought about closing it down, but everyone fought to keep this school here.
And that is the greatest thing that could ever happen because it's the foundation for our kids. So we're able to plant those seeds to say you are important.
We're here to make sure that this community of students will be successful. We want every student to achieve academically. I want them to become the teachers. I want them to become the doctors, the lawyers, and maybe even one day the president. I want them to have those goals. So I think it's very important that the science, engineering, mathematics, technology is built into their curriculum. Hungerford is such an important part of Eatonville because we're here to teach the students to be leaders.
In here we are what? Leaders! What? Leaders! Leaders!
How to look at someone in the eyes when they're shaking hands, what to say, how to be respectful to one another. And those are the skills that they will carry on throughout the year and onto their entire careers.
I mentor kids because they need me today and I need them tomorrow. Because I understand that if I work with them now, the outcome measures of me working with them will be great. And it's so important that they are successful.
We're definitely planting the seeds for the future and they're just growing.
I am very optimistic about the future of Eatonville. Even with the challenges that we've had in our community, economic development, diabetes, and education, we are addressing every issue, every concern, every challenge in Eatonville so that we can sit back one day and say, we did a pretty good job working together as a community. We're in good hands.
We are all in consensus in wanting to improve the health of the town. We're on our way. We're definitely on our way.